a process blueprint. And it's a blueprint for an innovation process which runs continuously in the organization. And that takes a good idea from anyone in the company, and it takes 6 weeks to try and find out if that idea has any value. And those 6 weeks are what we call a switch, a 6-week innovation challenge. And if you will, they are an agile sprint for innovation teams. So you get a multidisciplinary team together. It's an incidental team, so it's not a fixed agile team. It's an incidental team. 5 or 7 people, and they're given 6 weeks, 1 day a week, to try out if that idea has value. And they do so by taking the biggest assumption that we have with our idea. It might be technological feasibility, it might be the delivery of value, but they take the biggest fail factor, what Eric Ries calls the biggest fail factor in the lean startup. And they're going to disprove the biggest fail factor. So if the biggest assumption is that customers like our idea, in 6 weeks, we're going to do a mock-up, go visit customers and ask them, would you want to pay for this? Do you like the idea?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, we take another 6 weeks. And then we prove technical feasibility, because at that time, that is the biggest fail factor. And we do another 6-week innovation challenge. Every time, it's 1 day a week only. It's not a full-time project like a Google Sprint. It's not a project where we have a project manager and lots of overhead and lots of money invested. It's roughly 30 to 35 man days, and that includes women. And then they do 1 day a week. They spend fully focused. So it's 1 full Tuesday, 1 full Wednesday. It's not 8 hours. It's 1 fixed day a week for 6 weeks. And they try to disprove the biggest fail factor. And when they succeed for 3 times in a row, they've basically proven to the company, this idea has value. We've put in little time, but we've proved that there is problem solution fit. It has potential value. Now it's time to scale up. And by having that process and that continuous process for each idea, we keep the cost low to prove the fact that it makes sense to invest. And that breaks the glass ceiling that I talked about before. Then obviously we've expanded the framework into a full framework so that you can manage a portfolio, and most of all, that you can link it to the corporate strategy. So you get senior leadership of the organization comes in, we call it the Continuous Innovation Board, which sets strategic goals and value goals for innovation to achieve. And then we link innovation directly to corporate strategy or to LOB strategy. It might be one level lower than senior leadership in large corporates, but we build a portfolio that is geared towards achieving strategic goals, not chasing opportunistic momentum. And then, by gradually doing switch after switch, we keep proving that this has value, that the idea has value, until we reach the point where the company says, okay, let's scale this up. We're convinced that it works. It now can stand its own ground against other projects and other investments that we're doing.
Yeah, I think that we talked last time, and I told you that I have a program called Catalyst, and it's very, very funny because it's 6 weeks and it's only 1 day, and it's strange how we got to a very similar idea. Yep. But it makes sense to leave the people working and not take them out of what they're doing and then bringing them back, because sometimes it's hard to manage it, and then it's not linked to your daily life, and you're just taking out of what you're doing all the time.
Exactly.
And the results could be so much more when you're doing it with different people and different talents, with different diverse expertise and skills in order to get to what you want. And if you're doing that at scale, you have so many people trying out innovative ideas and understanding what could be done, or what is the potential of innovation, which is so important for the culture of the whole company.
Absolutely.
Which is another thing.